A.
Okay, so you guys are here in Vaskir,
Mm-hmm.
and you still have about half the day remaining for your first little day here. Is there anything you want to do before you head off tomorrow to do whatever it is you want to do?
Right, we were talking about that. Like, do you guys want to go check that place out, or do you want
Yeah.
to? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea.
What place?
Killing Tour.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so
yeah.
that's right. You were saying you were going to borrow mounts from
Yeah,
castle.
see if they would let us like borrow a few
Burrows.
horses.
Yep. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I don't think we probably were gonna go and like deal with the whole situation, but I think we said we might just check it out and come back.
Scout
to
it out, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah. Just check
So we
just
can
check what
get
the
ready
deal
for that.
is.
All right. So, are you leaving today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Or
I-
from monastery, you mean?
For
No,
Kiln Tour.
For
Oh.
Killing Tour. Yeah, we said we
Oh.
just use the rest of the day for like just doing more things and getting ready for
Okay,
that.
I might
and
have
then
missed
tomorrow-
some things.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys spend the rest of the day preparing, getting ready to do that. You take a quick trip up to the castle, to the palace, and ask them permission to borrow a couple of horses. And you don't even have to go through to see the king or the prince or whoever. Like, just the guard folk are like, absolutely. And they go and make sure they have that organized for you the following day. They're more than happy to help you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what else were we gonna do today?
Entirely up to you guys. I mean, you...
I may have some ideas of how I want to spend my free time.
Yeah, you guys have a
Like,
bit of downtime.
I have things I could do, but I don't want to like take over this session. So that's why I'm like, why you guys do it?
That's sort of
Please
like-
go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was doing. It's like, I don't want to do any more stuff because, yeah.
Yeah, I have things I want to do. I just don't want to be like,
Like, so
Consuming
Jake,
everything.
if there's anything you want to do, go ahead.
please.
Yeah. Honestly, though, if Gunther does anything of his free time by himself, probably would just go off in his room, in there, like somewhere study a bit.
His rune book.
Yes. The rune book.
All right. So you go and find a nice quiet place, maybe up in the barracks bedding sort of area that you were in for the night in the scabbard, and you find a nice quiet corner, a little candlelight going so that you have some good lighting, important for reading, health of your eyes and all that.
Of course.
So yeah, I'll get an intelligence check from you as you study up on your runes. Excellent.
Oh, nice.
You are really getting the hang of this whole rune thing. Like the idea behind it and why they're used, how they're used, and all the technical aspects behind it all. You're really getting the hang of it. And at this point, there's only so much more that this book can teach you. You only have so much more that you can study from this book. But it is good to hang on to it to keep it as reference if you need to, like, if you find a rune and you're like, oh, I recognize that, and you need to check what it does, that sort of thing. But
Cool.
you can probably get another point of learning out of this if you continue studying over
And,
time.
Like, if, for example, I wanted to try and write, like, use a rune or something, how would I go about doing that?
It would be an Arcana check, or you could just spend a bit of time referencing the book and sort of copying out how the runes would work in sequence.
Yeah, because
to make it do what you want it
I've
to do.
purchased a book for that, like to practice and take notes.
Mm-hmm. What kind of rune are you going to make?
Okay, so actually, what kinds are there exactly? 'Cause I don't think you told
Just
me
about
this.
anything.
Okay,
All kinds.
I'll start with something that sounds kind of basic, but like protection.
Okay,
Something
yep.
protective.
There are definitely different kinds of runes for protection. There are some that are more of like a warding thing that kind of makes sure dangerous creatures or that sort of thing don't pass by it, or there are some that are more of a immediate defensive thing that you can use, like kind of like a shield spell or a blade
Yeah.
ward or that sort of thing. Yeah.
Something like a shield spell.
Okay. So I will get. You're going to take some time to just copy out of the book like different runes
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
Exactly.
All right.
Better take my
So
time.
you take
for
some
it.
time. Yeah, you carefully, so that you don't accidentally fucking
Blow my arm off or
write down.
something.
Yeah. Very common thing with learning wizards. Yeah, you write down like a couple of runes that you think might work in sequence to form sort of a shielding or a protective sequence that, when applied to something and activated, it's probably about a one-time use. But when applied to something, probably something small, like a 1 foot cube sort of area, could probably prevent it from being damaged by a physical blow. It's
Okay.
not a very powerful seal, as you don't have a lot of experience, but it can probably block one good hit
That's good.
for something small.
So like now it's on a piece of paper and like it would be it would still be effective, right? Like still usable. The one
I mean,
just
yeah,
wrote?
sure. Sorry?
The one I just did. Like, is it like did I just take the notes for it? Did I actually write it on something to use it?
I'm assuming you, with a bit of time and practice and that sort of thing, you produced one that is probably a good for one use.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, to test that out, I'm probably gonna have to gamble on that
Yep.
because I'm not gonna. Actually, I have a perfect idea for that. Yeah. Okay. Good. So basically, it's just like little piece of paper.
Yeah. Yeah, like a little strip of paper, similar to how you would have like the talismans they have in Japan, like the
Okay, so in
little-
that kind of.
yeah, kind of thing that you can just sort of apply to an object, and that should theoretically protect it from an impact if you've done it right.
Excellent.
He finds like a really fine crystal vase, like, hey, let's put it on this. Immediately, just like smash, just like
Smashes
oh.
it with a hammer. Oh wait.
Yeah. Carefully
wait.
places it upon that, and then just psh, like, oh crap.
It's not
Didn't
a
work.
person. Can't activate the room.
Yeah, you would have to roll one of your runecraft sort of checks to
To be able to use it.
activate it. Yeah.
Good.
All right. So,
I wrote in my inventory just wrote shield rune small.
yeah,
Small.
SMOL, small.
Small.
So, as that's going on, what's Lazara doing with her spare time for the day?
So Lazara is going to approach Eris and ask if she wants to go out and get some tea.
Eris's eyes light up, and she's immediately like, "Absolutely." All right. So you guys head out together and find a nice little cafe. They have a couple of them in town. Some of them are less clean than others, and Eris very willfully avoids them. But you guys find a nice enough one and sit inside and purchase some nice tea. Sit down to chat.
So while they're doing this, Lazara takes this opportunity to talk about the whole apprenticeship thing, and she's like, so I think you should know, I don't. I know you've seen me. I know you've seen me like cast spells and such before, but I kind of don't actually know how any of this works.
She kind of waves a hand at you and she says, "Oh, don't worry, sweetie. Nobody does it first."
No, I mean like I and she kind of looks away for a moment and then turns back and says, you seem to you at the very least seem to know a lot about this, and well, I'm kind of a warlock, so I don't think I actually have the same background you might be expecting."
She you can see her like sit back in her chair and just sort of like tap her bottom lip with her index finger, sort of thinking, and rolling her head from left to right, just trying to figure out, like, you can see like the cogs turning in her head, and she's trying to figure out, like, well, your spell casting is different to mine. You might learn spells by doing rather than studying. Like, this is all what's going on in her head, and you can see that pretty clearly. And she interlocks her fingers and just kind of rests her elbows on the table and like leans her chin on her hands. And she's just kind of smiling, and she's like, "So what kind of patron do you have?"
It's and then she kind of leans in and says quietly, a copper dragon."
And she kind of goes, "Is he hot?" Like, you can see like twinkling in her eyes, and she's immediately invested.
Eris, you're a taken woman.
Yeah, but she wants to talk about like Lazara's sugar daddy.
So, Lazara just kind of stares blankly back for a moment and then starts thinking, and she's like, "Well, his human form is just kind of he looks rather old. Let's just say that."
If his human form looks to be that old, then he's probably well into his adulthood. More than likely an ancient dragon. Maybe.
I mean, he was like, he just in his dragon form, he just like fucking towered above me.
Not that surprising. They can sometimes dwarf buildings.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, I'm sure that we can figure something out for your tutelage. It would probably do me some good to meet him and figure out what kind of powers he's willing to give you, and, well, figure out where the boundaries lie with what you can learn.
Boundaries of what I can know.
Well, the thing with a patron is that sometimes there may be some things out there that they may not want you to learn, or they may not want you to be able to cast, or all manner of different things. It depends on what kind of a person he is and what he values.
Lazira is completely confused about this, and she just kind of said, "But he literally gave me one rule, and that was just to not die."
Well, that sounds all right to me then. I mean, you haven't yet, so still haven't broken his rule.
let's just ignore that I've almost died several times already.
How did you die?
That's all that matters.
And she says, I don't really know that much about it now, but I am interested in becoming more knowledgeable about this."
Well, when we get back to Passage, I'm sure I have a book or two on guidance that could help you through being a warlock and things to look out for in that respect. I'm sure that I can still teach you many of my spells and things that I've learned. I'm sure you can still learn all of that just fine.
And
she kind of pats you on the shoulder and then sips her tea.
And she says, even if I don't need to actually know how it works to do what I do, I still am interested in actually knowing the ins and outs of magic.
And Eris smiles and says, "Oh, and so you should be." He says it would be quite foolish to just use a power like this and not really care where it comes from. I know not of the pact that you made with your patron. The details of it, what transpired, and, well, from that, what we can expect. But I'm sure that we can figure it out together as we go.
She says, "Well, part of our agreement is that I need to go visit him every few months. So if you want to tag along, I was thinking about taking the party next time too."
She claps her hands together and has a big excited smile on her face. She goes, "I'd love to."
He's in the middle of the desert. I just think you should know that too.
And she's like, "Oh," like you just see her face immediately drop, and she's like, "The desert? Why?" She's very disappointed. She kind of then shrugs it off and says, "Oh well, I'll just have to make sure that I pack plenty of moisturizer." Then she starts going down a list of like plenty of sunscreen. Going to have to make sure of that, and then.
She's ready.
Yeah, you can see her like planning the trip out in her head. Like she's pretty keen to go still.
Yeah, but I'll be sure to make sure I'm in Passage when I'm planning to go next time.
Well, do let me know.
We'll
stop by Oasis on the way. It'll be lovely.
And then she leans in and says, "By the way, I have something to tell you that might be you might be interested in knowing."
She leans in. She's like, "Ooh."
It's about Dai.
She's just kind of got this little smirk on her face. She's like, "Go on."
After you and Simone left, they kissed again.
You can hear her feet just against the floor.
Oh no,
Um,
it gets better. It gets better.
She was sitting upright, like, "Ooh," and then you say it gets better, and she goes, and then leans back into the conversation, like she's all about this.
I'm based on what happened. I'm pretty certain Di is the one that asked for it.
She's like, "Oh my, she's growing up." Ooh. You can see this little excited wiggle she does. You can see her tail whipping around behind her. Happiness. And she's like, "Oh, we're gonna have to keep an eye on Simon and make sure that he doesn't interfere too much. And we'll have to make sure that we set them up on plenty of little dates. We'll have to organize all kinds of little get-togethers for them. It's going to be very important."
Yeah, I like this idea.
Perhaps now that you're a guild member, we can teleport them to each other and have little secret visits for them. It'd be nice.
That's good for a
You can
lift.
see her like planning out all these ideas in her head, like this little
She has it all
cheeky
figured
smile.
out.
She's just, you can see her like forming like a narrative of what's going to go down in her mind. So then in the middle of the night whisking off to see one another and passionate embrace and whatever in her mind. You can practically see her like writing a romance novel about it already.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say it's like her next book series.
Yeah.
By the way, other than tomes of magic, what exactly is that other stuff you write?
You see her kind of smirk and give a bit of a she says, "Well, they are fictional purely. These stories of people who explore various facets of life, and by doing this, they practice different kinds of magic that I myself have practiced and would like to share with the world in one way or another. I'm sure that it can help a lot of people out there."
Can I roll insight on the word fictional?
Sure can.
Oh my god. Amazing. You just fucking know.
You just broke Nick.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Excellent. Yeah, no, absolutely not. But that doesn't mean that all of them are about her and her various escapades. Many of them are, but some of them might not be. Some of them might be about people she knows, or as you seem to, as you're sort of slowly figuring out from her, like she forms these narratives of what goes on in her head, like her own little, in her own mind, story of what happens between different people. And you can tell that, like, some of these stories that she writes about other people and their experiences, renaming them all as characters to protect the innocent, you know how it is. But, like, these people whose stories she's sharing, you get the idea that maybe some of the stories she didn't actually know, but she kind of formed in her own mind, but she believes they are the case. You know what I mean?
So true but embellished.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you absolutely know that many of the stories are about her and her crazy shenanigans.
Lasaya just grins and says, "Fictional, huh?"
She nods and takes a little sip of her tea and winks.
It's like she's not trying to hide it.
No, she's really proud,
No.
I'm sure.
She's a very proud person.
um, Lazara says, "Well, maybe I'll have to check him out sometime."
She's like, she nods energetically. She's like, "Oh, definitely, please do. They're a fantastic read, I assure you." Not to toot my own horn, but absolutely yes.
I used to read some old orcish romance novels, so I'm sure I'll get something out of them.
You see a glimmer in her eyes, and she holds a hand over her heart. And she's like, "The Tusk's embrace. I love it."
Do I actually recognize that?
Yeah, that was probably the title of one of the books. You get the sense that, like, if there's a fictional romance novel out there, smutty or otherwise, she's probably read it, or at least knows of its existence. She's probably written a few of them.
Lazira just has the most shocked look on her face, and she just quietly says, "You can read Orcish?"
And she sits there smiling. She's like, "Oh, absolutely! I can hear. I can read a whole myriad of different languages." And she kind of like leans across the table and whispers like, "Some of the best ones are in different languages you need to learn." She winks and has another sip of her tea.
Lazira is still just like shocked at what just happened and was like, "Okay."
Yeah, she kind of nods her head left and right, and she's like, "It's Orcish is a difficult language to romanticize. So the fact that they were able to write those stories is quite a feat." And you know that this to be true. Like, the Orcish language is fucking pretty brutal.
She says, "Yeah, going from speaking almost exclusively Elvish to speaking almost exclusively Orcish was painful."
Oh, two different worlds, dear. But yeah. So you, you share some little secrets with Eris. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about with her?
I don't think so.
Alrighty. Well, you guys spend some time together, sort of bonding, getting a better feel for each other, since you're going to be a mentor and an apprentice. It would kind of be a good idea to get closer and get to know each other better so that you work better together. So this is nice. Yeah. So back over to Gunther.
Yes.
Was there a thing that you wanted to do?
Yeah. So right now I'm in the room I was sleeping in last night, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the room that almost everyone was sleeping in
Well,
last
yeah.
night.
I mean, just in general. Okay. So Gunther will want to look for Faye.
Oh
Where's she
god.
at?
Where indeed. Well, Faye is probably... Where might Faye be?
I was just gonna have her just hang around the guild for the day and just practice her wood carving. So.
Oh, well, you find her sort of chipping away with a chisel at a little wood block, making a little figure out of it.
What time of the day is it at the moment?
Oh, it's like really early afternoon.
Okay,
Or like
okay.
mid-afternoon, sort of. Yeah,
I was just
closer to
wondering.
mid-afternoon. Meanwhile, by the way, Faye, make a little wood carving check.
Yee! I was ready for this. Oh, yee, boy.
Nailed it.
Jesus.
This little boy. um, yeah, you pretty quickly get a good feel for how this works, and you get to carving this little figurine. Is there anything in particular that you wanted to carve of the wood, or?
I think I was just gonna do something simple and do like maybe like a little like wood charm or something like that. Something that I could probably make into like I don't know, maybe if I gave to Dai later, like as jewelry or something, like like those little wood charms. And
Okay.
I was just looking at stuff for references, but if like I was just maybe saying like something simple like this or something like.
Yeah, 100%. So you make a little, sort of like a little pendant, a little crescent moon of wood. It's you're kind of carving into a more smooth shape, and later on you'll sort of sand it down and apply oils to it to make it stay pristine for as long as possible.
Hmm.
Yeah, nice little, cute little charm. And Gunther approaches you.
Hello, Faye.
Faye kind of like looks up and she kind of gives this smile and then she just kind of responds with like, "Oh hey, are you here to poke your nose into more of my business?
Absolutely
I'm just wood
not.
carving."
Absolutely not. In fact, I'm here to apologize.
Oh, you were serious.
Yes.
Let me laugh even harder.
See, now I realize that doing this was probably a bad idea. I was being invasive and I should have known better than that. And
You don't say.
yeah. And I should not have been poking around your past without your consent, honestly. And
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, go. I was just
No,
gonna
go
say.
ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry. About doing all this. I got carried away, and I just hope you can forgive me at some point. Not now necessarily, just eventually.
She kind of like sighs and just puts down like her like wood carving stuff and she like shakes her head. She's like, "No, no. I'm sorry. It's a bit strange for me, like not a lot of people tend to really get invasive with my stuff. I tend to be very what's the word? Like distant with like, when I secretive, I guess is the word. I don't really necessarily want people to know a lot about me and I think it's best that a lot of people don't necessarily know about me, but it's just I guess I'm not she just kind of like rubs like kind of pinches her temples a bit. I don't know, yeah, and she's just like, I guess I'm just not used to having someone I guess care enough to just really take into account how I feel and everything like that. I don't know. It's just all new to me,
Yeah, no, I understand that. I understand what you mean by wanting to keep stuff about yourself secret and not being used to having people, want to help you. I've been
Mhm.
there. I've been there too, in a way.
How so?
Oh, did it cut?
No, I guess. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I was saying, I don't know if you heard it the part about that I said that he understands what it's like to hide things?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, she
Is
just
it? I
says,
think it's
like,
just a sound cut from your side. Then
oh, okay. Okay, yeah, but she just kind of says, like, oh, like, how so?
well, see, I did tell you that I left the hand, right? At one point.
Mm-hmm.
And at
Yeah.
at that point in time, I didn't really have anyone to turn to, and you know, just going off by myself, and yeah, spent most of my time by myself, like for the past, well, the past 4 years, and yeah, no, like being masked and all that, keeping my actual identity secret, running away from people trying to kill me, or like getting paranoid that maybe someone will find me eventually. But that's a different story. But yeah, no, I do understand that. I do understand what you mean by, not being used to having people care about you or something.
She gets kind of quiet and everything. And she like she's listening very carefully, but she's kind of just like looking down. She's just kind of thinking and everything. She's like, I guess I didn't take into account that you and I would be so similar, I guess. I totally get that. Like not being home and not having anyone to turn to and being concerned if someone's out to get you and having to own up to your mistakes. I get that. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't have snapped last night. That was,
That's just natural.
I guess, but still. And she stands up and she extends her hand for that handshake that he tried to give her a while back and says,
Gunther shares the handshake.
yeah. And she's like, oh gosh, what was I going to say? She's like, well, I guess now that we're both kind of like on the same page, like maybe we should agree to disagree that, we shouldn't be really snooping into each other's past. And I myself will try not to get so angry all the time.
Fair enough. I won't probe into your past again unless you want me to, and also... Well,
I don't think anyone really wants anyone probing into their past,
yeah.
just FYI.
Well, I meant, more like if you want to
Probing
tell
is
me...
kind of the descriptor in that case that implies that. It's not exactly a positive word.
Well, what I meant is, if you want to tell me something, just tell me.
Okay.
And about mine, at this point, I don't really have anything to hide. More or less.
I mean, like, you still hide your face.
Yeah. Well, kind of feels weird not having a mask.
Have you tried not wearing a mask?
No. But it would feel weird. And it's cold here.
That's okay.
Gunther just kind of like looks at you funny, just like not wearing a mask. Like, what the fuck? Like, ew.
What is wrong?
Like, he hadn't even considered the notion.
What do you mean, taking off the mask?
Like, taking it off.
Don't you mean putting on another mask on top of it?
Removes his mask to reveal another smaller mask.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, I could try, but...
What's the worst that could happen? Fucking Always Sunny in Philadelphia music fucking plays in the background.
What's the worst that could happen? Gunther fucking dies. But yeah, no. I could eventually try not wearing a mask. But not today. Today's not that day.
sound cut for a second because like it got really quiet.
So, what did you miss?
Hmm?
I said, what did you miss?
I don't know. It just got really quiet, and then I heard mask, but it was cut off. So
So all you heard was mask. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Mask.
Typical discussion with Gunther, just like no words and then mask.
He's just a
Okay.
Pokemon now that just says mask over and over again.
But yeah,
I
what
was like
Gun-
wondering why Noah was laughing at the joke I made. I was like, "Oh, was that bad? Wasn't it?"
no, it's because I didn't hear it either. And what Gunther was saying just was like, eventually I'll consider not wearing a mask, but today's not that day.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
He puts on an extra mask today.
So what was
He
that
probably
joke?
would because it's cold. Like,
I mean, taking it off would
cheeks
be
warm.
the equivalent of like when you shave in winter. Only guys
Oh,
understand.
wow.
Yeah, no, I feel it.
It feels really cold and I don't like it.
I get a chilly chin. It happens.
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I can agree with that.
What was that joke you made, Lacey? I want to hear it.
Oh, because I said something. I was like, because I said like, "Oh, what's the worst that could go wrong?" And I was like, and then the "Always Sunny in Philadelphia" song plays in the background.
Oh, I heard it and I laughed, and I think a few of us did, but I don't think you heard
Yeah, I did
us.
too. Fuck. I started watching that show and like, Chris, have you seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No, I have not.
You should watch it. It's really
It's
fucking
immediately
funny.
like 2 episodes in, I can tell like this is a show Chris is gonna love because it is a show that it makes me hurt while I watch it because it's just so cringy.
Oh my
Like, but it's funny
God.
cringy the whole way through. And it
has
just the
Danny
thing is
DeVito
like
in it. Like,
Yep.
you would think that like through character progression, like, oh, they start off shit and then they get better. No, they start off pretty crap and then it just gets worse and worse and
Oh
worse
my
the longer it goes
God.
on. You'll love it.
I
We'll have to watch
love
it together.
cringy
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, you're gonna absolutely fucking love this show. I promise.
I'll have to start watching it at some point.
Fantastic.
it's on Netflix.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, I think were you done, Kay, with like? Yeah.
The thing about the mask, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I was done too.
Okay,
It's just
easy enough. So, you have your talk there. Lazira is out with Eris. What's Diana up to?
I wanted to. Oh, I wanted to take some time to do my rune bonding ritual on Dave.
Excellent. Oh my god. What the hell was that? It sounded like someone had a truck just run through their living room.
oh, you know what it probably was? I think it was my AC because it's on and then it turns off and then turns back on because it just does it automatically.
And when it turns back on, it starts up like a fucking helicopter motor.
Yeah, it does.
It's pretty
Good
loud.
lord. Good lord.
Can confirm
America,
it's
how do
pretty
you
damn
even-
loud?
So,
It
Diana, you head back to the guild and find a quiet place to do your rune bonding ritual. It takes you a little bit of time to inscribe this rune upon Dave that will bind you to it. However, you have spent a lot of time with Dave over many years, and as such, you get through this process a lot quicker, a lot easier, and you now have Dave rune bonded to you. So, with everything that entails, let me just find that real quick.
Oh, nothing should like really change right now.
Okay.
I think next level I get some kind of bonus to. I'm not sure, but right now I don't think that gives me anything.
Alright.
It's
Do you
just
have
like,
that the document for the demon hunter thing? Can you send that to me?
Yeah. Let me just
so
send
that I
you.
have it saved.
Did it update?
Oh,
Because
it changed everything, dude. We had to entirely rewrite
Oh,
it.
I know. I remember. I had to like make a little guide out to get older versions on the wiki.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, I didn't want to send like the full thing until I was done, and I'm only done with like one of the subtypes because I want to do like the whole thing. Since I went through the trouble, I figure like I may as well see it through and like do all of it. But so far I've only done like the main stuff and Diana's personal archetype.
All right. Okay. Well, you you can use it as an arcane focus. That's fucking wild. All right, so you have Dave bonded with your rune bonding ability, and now you gave it a quick little practice run by walking to the other side of the room and extending your hand as though you're holding or about to wield Dave, and it teleports to your hand, and you can sort of you know that you can utilize this in battle and when times are dire.
A.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it is.
It's a force teleport.
Yes.
Yeah, she can do it with the shield as well, actually.
You can do it for up to 3 items?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have my shield and Dave, and I'm thinking for the last one, I'm going to pick one of my swords, but I don't know which one yet. I know
You
I
have to
can
pick your favorite one.
Yeah, I know that you can like remove the runes from it and just like have a different one, but I'm still gonna wait. Dave, however, Dave is important, so he has to be rune bonded.
That shield is pretty damn useful.
Yeah.
Projectiles? What are those?
But yeah. So we do that.
All right.
What time of day is it?
Gunther's rune bonding, he would just bond a whole bunch of different towels and summon them to him. Blankets.
Rune bounds like 3 different gold coins.
coins and blankets are the items that he would rune bond.
No. It makes perfect sense because he's going to use those runes to create a shield entirely of blankets.
And coins.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Or like he gives a gold coin to someone and later on just uses his rune bonding ability to get the coin back. I mean, this is how you pay
it's
a gold.
doable.
This is how you save money.
Yeah. He's like, oh hey, Merton, should you make that thing for me? Yeah, sure, just a gold, sure thing, buddy.
Why is there writing on this gold?
Just shut up, there isn't. It's still good. But yeah, so what was Di about to say?
What time of the day is it at this point?
At this point it's like mid-afternoon. Or early afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. And so Lazara is away with Eris, and Faye is out practicing her wood carving.
Oh no, I'm at the guild.
Oh, you're back.
So is Gun.
Yeah, no, she's the whole time she was there, like in the guild, just kind of carving away.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, I assumed Gunther was there as well. I'm sorry, I left for a moment, so I got.
Oh no, it's fine.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's
so I don't know
Gunther
where that was.
Gunther's there as well. Yeah, this is all in the guild building. Simon is like currently manning the desk and just sort of. You can see that he's doing like a full reworking of Tuazar's entire
Oh my
system.
God.
Like he's reorganizing everything because he's like, how in the hell does this woman get anything done? Like he's just
Oh my God.
fucking taking out, like, you can see, like, he finds like this box that's just a whole bunch of papers stuffed into it, and it's like opening it up, you see his whole body recoil and like his eyes widen like he's witnessing a horror movie. What? Like he just pulls out all these like crumpled up pages. They seem to be like just pages that were on the desk, and she's like, oh, I need these out of the way. So she just stuffed them into a box and moved it aside. And he's just like, what? Like he's taking them out and straightening all of them out and just trying to like organize shit. He's just having like an administrative breakdown right now.
Administration is not a strong suit.
Yeah, he's having like an admin meltdown.
Does he? I mean, even though this is happening, does he seem like more chill now that like they had their talk?
Oh, absolutely. About like all the relationship stuff, about him and Eris, he seems like there's a huge weight off of his shoulders. Yeah. I mean, mind you, his inner like ADD, like OCD kind of thing is just like fucking flatlining right now, and he's just like
Oh
in a
yeah,
state
but
of
you know,
like
that's like
just-
normal Simone.
yeah, that is normal Simone. But like yeah, he's just kind of at the moment, like despite the fact that he is calm, he is also in a state of like just inner turmoil. Trying to get her fucking shit sorted.
She's still not back.
No, she's been gone the whole day.
Damn.
Maybe they
I
were
think
talking
she's
about
like
porn
Lasara in
again.
this regard. God damn it. Right. Well, in that case, I think Diana is probably gonna go find Clovis. Because, yeah, why not?
Okay. So you leave the scabbard and start making your way up the street, and you walk by the herbalist shop as you do, and you notice that the front door like is shut and the sign says closed.
Oh my God. Damn.
But you continue making your way up there, and coming from the western main street to almost meet you at the fountain in the center, is brimming with happiness Tuazar, accompanied by a seemingly very shaken Merton. And you can like both of them are kind of like spattered with blood.
Oh no!
And she's carrying the pelt of a deer with antlers and all, just over her shoulder.
She took him to hunt.
They
Yeah.
went on a field
That poor
trip.
boy.
This is amazing.
And she waves at you with a big smile on her face, and Merton is like fucking white as a ghost. Like he's just shakily walking beside her, like he's not even like interacting with the world around him. He's just kind of focusing entirely on keeping his existence in one place. And
I
not
go
just
say-
sort of. It looks like at the slightest sort of nudge, this poor kid could suffer from a sudden lack of electrons and just scatter throughout the universe. Like he's just a mess.
Oh my God.
Yeah, maybe
I-
just leave him be. But yeah, he wanted toward Tuazar.
Yeah, I walk up to them and I say, "Hey, what's up?"
And Tuazar's like, "Oh, we just went on a good little hunt. We tracked this deer, and we did encounter a couple of wolves on the way, and they almost got us, didn't they?" And then she kind of nudges him with her elbow, and he goes, he just kind of grabs his arm. He's a fucking mess. And she's like, "Oh, it was good fun. It was really fun." And we got some deer, so we'll cook up a barbecue for the night, and we'll all feast tonight. It'll be nice.
Oh, I'm sure someone will love that. And I look to the guy and I see him and I'm like, first time, huh?
he shakily sort of looks up at you. And he just very slowly nods.
Yeah, the first one's always rough. You'll be fine.
He's okay. He starts walking back towards his shop, and Tuazar kind of like tussles his hair a little bit, and lets him walk off. And she's like, "Oh, he did a good job. I let him gut it after we killed it.
Oh my god!
He didn't want to at first, but like I talked him into it. He did a really good job. I'll reward him later." And she kind of pats you on the shoulder and makes her way down after him.
Nice. Oh boy. Yeah, I'll just keep going.
Yep. His poor kid's kind of starting to have it slowly. He gets reminders every now and again, like, "Oh, right, she's an orc." Like, yep. But yeah, so you head up to the castle and visit your boo.
That's one way of putting it.
Clovis actually has some time. He's at the moment he's just kind of reading books and studying. So you going to pay him a little visit for anything in particular, or just to hang out?
Just hang out.
Okay. Well, you find him in his room, and he's reading through a book, and he shows you like his library he has across a couple of his walls of these bookshelves that are just packed with different books of all kinds of different manner. And he says, "Yeah, feel free to look through," and you can see him kind of like mentally flatlining. Roll an insight check for me. You get a hint of what is most decidedly some form of panic, and he walks over and stands kind of in front of one particular corner of one of the bookshelves, and then says, like, "Feel free to look through all the books here." And he's very clearly like blocking one little area of the shelf.
Except for this one.
Yeah. He doesn't outright say it, but like, yeah. Except it's hilarious. Yeah.
Is this where he keeps his collection of shoujo mangas?
No.
Sure. He has some books by particular authors.
God damn it, Clovis! You're supposed to be the pure boy.
It's too late to go back. He's seen
So-
everything.
That's what I gather from that he just doesn't want me to see something in there, but I don't know why.
Yep. 100%.
She takes a
He's
mental
like, "Oh,
note
he
of
has
that.
books that he's currently reading and hasn't finished, and he doesn't want me to lose his page." Easy. That's 100% what it is.
Amazing.
Totally. But yeah,
Fucking hell. Yeah, I
between
know.
us though, 100%. It's just, yeah.
It's porn.
Yeah.
God damn it. And here we are thinking he was the pure boy.
How wrong we were.
He's just a guy. Let him have his porn. He doesn't get to have fun a lot. Yeah, I guess I'll look around and like what kind of books does he have?
He has a whole heap of learning books, like textbooks that have history. Some of them are medicine. Some of them are physics, science, mathematics, economics, all kinds of different books.
See.
Most of them are learning books, but he does have a few works of fiction, novels that have like a moral and that sort of thing.
Looking at like his collection, Diana just comments on how her own kind of reading that she tends to do is a little bit different. It tends to be more, monsters and logical them and.
he's fascinated, honestly. Like this is amazing to him. So he's like, so you read up on things you have to kill so you can go out there and kill them better.
Yeah, that's about it.
Incredible. Like he's like, it absolutely fascinates him.
It's generally a good idea to do research on these kinds of things because, well, they tend to be dangerous.
Yeah, no, 100%. I absolutely agree with you.
But yeah, I guess she talks about just the kinds of things that she reads, like not just the stuff she does for research, but also just she really enjoys reading about like the lore and like all the spooky stories about like crazy creatures and fiends and all that.
Mm.
Since she was very little.
He thinks for a couple of moments and then stands up and walks over to one of the shelves, and he starts sort of picking away through the books, and he pulls out this little book that's probably no bigger than the size of a journal, and brings it over to you and hands it to you. And it, as you flip through the pages, it seems to contain recounts of different interactions with and what's the word I'm looking for? Run-ins with various encounters. There we go, with various creatures and entities and monsters and the like. All these handwritten notes and like whoever wrote this, their experience with dealing with those encounters and the way that they handled them and etc. Seems to be a little journal or notebook of some kind, and he hands it to you.
After I look over and I realize what it's about, I ask him, "Where do you get your hands on it? How do you get your hands on this?"
He kind of points over his shoulder toward the hallway, and he goes, "It was my father's when he was about our age, and he was traveling around and doing these sorts of things. These are tales of his various encounters." And as you read through some of the stories that the book contains, you notice like little mentions of like party members. You see like you see Simon's name pop up, you see Nathan's name pop up, like you see various encounters with different creatures and their stories of how they as a team dealt with it or individually, as the case may be.
She just kind of smiles when she notices, and she's like, "Wow, that's cool."
Yeah.
Did you know that about your dad?
What, that he used to be an adventurer? Yeah, he would brag about it to me all the time.
Amazing.
I never knew that that was Simon from his stories. I never knew that Simon was related to you in some way. This is all very new news to me. But yeah, I knew all about it. I think he kind of tried to encourage me to go out and do that sort of thing, but well, I'm not exactly built for it. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, no one is at first. That's kind of how that works.
He kind of like slowly nods and he goes, "Well, I mean, I recognize that I have strengths elsewhere, and I utilize those more often."
Yeah, that's fair enough. Everyone has their things they're good at.
Management is kind of my thing. Let's word it that way. It's a bit easier.
So that's kind of crazy, isn't it? Huh? What a small world.
Yeah. He kind of sits back down in his seat and opens his book back up. You can tell he's not really reading it. He's just kind of thinking.
Hmm.
You can tell this because it takes him a good 15, 20 minutes before he turns the page.
I say, Simon somehow seems to have completely forgotten to just, mention that he was the king of Vaskir.
He looks up and he goes, I think it might just be a thing that their generation has. Because my father forgets to mention an awful lot of things to me. So this does make a lot of sense, yes.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be the first time Simon does something like that.
Probably won't be the last either.
Yeah, no. Speaking of him, sorry he nearly sets you on fire.
Hey, what?
Yeah.
When?
Did you really?
Numerous times.
Yeah.
Did you really not notice the smoke coming out of his mouth?
Well, I just thought that was a thing that Dragonborn did. Like, he's a red Dragonborn. I thought maybe he was just really excited to meet me or something. I don't know. I didn't know that he was trying to kill me.
Excited is not
You
the
can
word
see him just sort of like the color wash from his face, and he's just kind of like looking down at his book. And he's like, "You need to be more careful of that sort of thing."
He was tense. He worries about me, I guess.
Good to know.
He makes a mental note to be super careful around Simon.
Yeah, like fucking wildly cautious.
Ugh. That wasn't the first time either. Like, I did have to stop them that one time at the fortress.
He kind of looks up from his book over to you, and he's like, "Yeah, I kind of thought that was the case back there, but I just kind of was living in denial. I thought maybe, he thought the battle wasn't finished or something. I gave him the benefit of the doubt."
God damn it.
Bless you.
Bless you. What else did I want to bring up again? Oh, right. She just kind of sits next to him and she's like, so what exactly does the prince do?
He kind of looks up at her and he's like, "Oh, you're serious? Oh, well, when the time is necessary, I take over the throne as king. It's kind of like a royal bloodline sort of thing. That's how that works. And then I run the city. And when my father is out on the pilgrimage, I run the city briefly then as well."
Oh, well, I guess I meant more like you mentioned you have duties to attend to here and all that.
Oh, currently what do I do? Oh. he sits up and says, "Oh, I was very concerned."
Like, oh no, she's really dumb.
Oh no, she's stupid. That's terrible. But yeah,
I know how that works.
he says, "Well, I organize particular events. I help make sure that particular things run in tandem with particular rules. I brought up with my father that a few years back when I was probably about 14, 15, that we were experiencing troubles. I pointed out to him a few downfalls with the way the city was running and how it was not exactly sustainable, and we were making plenty enough money as it was. So I suggested that we should have the major guilds in the city procure resources for us, and they can do that instead of tax. And so we implemented that, and now as a result of that, he liked the idea and it seems to be working really well, and so he's put me in charge of that. So I have meetings with guild leaders and their treasurers and those who are out there gathering resources and doing tasks for the city. And I also organize little events, and I also do what I can to speak with the people and find out, well, what it is that is required of us to run this place to make them more comfortable.
And he came up with that when he was like 15-ish.
Yeah, but he like analyzed the economy, broke it down, and then organized such a deal.
Yeah, she says I was actually really curious about that setup you guys have going on. I've never really seen it anywhere else, but it seems to work really well for you guys. That's impressive.
He kind of smiles and he goes, "Thank you. I'm glad. It seems to be working out all right so far. So we'll just see what the future holds, I guess. Can always change it if it doesn't work."
That is true. So I guess there's a lot more to the whole Prince thing than most people might think, huh?
Oh yeah, I don't just go around waving at people. I have tasks that I need to complete, and I am still, and he points at all of his books and he says, "I'm still studying a lot to make sure that I learn everything that I can learn to, well, to benefit the throne and the people and everything up here a little better. I also want to reach out more to the other clans that are up here. I feel like we need more cooperation and communication up north if we're going to continue to prosper. Communicating with Kill Tor, communicating with the people in Siltarai, extending a reach out to Feyvale even, and speaking with them about things." And he kind of like leans in for a whisper and he says, "I also kind of want to, go to the monastery more often."
She laughs and she says, "You really like that place, don't you?"
It's so relaxing. The people are so nice.
I mean, yeah, they are. I've been there. It was pretty nice. That was actually I explained to him the whole like situation we had going on with this little road trip to like just go visit the monastery, and we ended up like sticking around here longer than intended, and yeah, that whole thing.
So, you spend some time with Clovis and get to know each other better. Just kind of spend some chill time to be around each other, and make some more talk and discuss some things.